that's the market we're in. You
Right.
have to.
Right.
I mean, I look at it as if it was my house and I was going to sell it.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to put money into it to get it sold.
Right. So if you've been putting off those,
Repairs.
projects, repairs, whatever,
Thinking like next year or whatever, just
Just
start
do
doing
it.
it. Do
Just
it.
do it. Yeah.
Enjoy the upgrades.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
now.
Don't wait to paint your cabinets until, you go to list your house. Enjoy it at least.
No,
It's
I
just, it is a different. We're back to traditional times. You used to have to prepare your house for sale.
Right.
We had to do that. That was just a thing. You knew when I'm getting ready to list my house, I got to do this project, that project, this project. Well, we're back to that. Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Kristin Macari, and I'm here with your host,
Jeanine Corcoran, broker for Corcoran Connect, a real estate company.
It is time for our October 2025 market report.
By so fast. Halloween's passed and
It is.
wow.
It was, okay, so because I talked a lot of smack about my little neighborhood back here not having any trick-or-treaters, and we actually ended up with like 30 people.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I had way more fun, like I had fun handing out candy over at your house
Right.
and seeing all the kids and guessing the obscure costumes. Did you have a favorite costume? Was there
I
something that stuck out?
didn't really see a favorite costume this year. And
Yeah.
I felt like there were less little ones.
There were less little ones.
Because we had a lot of goldfish left.
Yeah. I also was bad at handing that out.
Oh, you were?
I was really bad at that. I was supposed to hand it out to the little kids, and then I would get overwhelmed because there'd be like 15 people, so I would just hand out candy.
Oh.
So
I was manning the bar.
So my favorite costume was somebody who came dressed up as a character from the Gilmore Girls. Did you ever watch that show?
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that one.
Okay, so somebody dressed up as Luke.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
so like obscure. He didn't have a name tag or anything. It was just a person in a
I remember you talking.
flannel
I didn't
shirt.
know what you were talking about when you said Luke. I didn't
Yeah.
realize. Okay.
Yep. So they had a flannel shirt on, a backwards hat, and then an empty coffee pot. And I was like, you win. That's like my all time. I thought it was the best, traditional costume.
Well, there was that one kid that had the box lit up face. I don't even know what that's from. That was
Yeah.
scary. He just stood there and stared at me.
Oh yeah, he was good. I think he was like one of the only ones that were in character, if you will, trying to
Yeah.
scare people.
Yeah.
It was funny. But anyway, so we had a good Halloween. A lot of older kids.
Yeah, a lot
which
of
I
older
was
kids.
happy to see.
Yeah, always.
Better to.
Always happy to see.
So anyway, October's over. Half my, I feel like half the neighborhood's starting to decorate for Christmas.
I know a lot of people want to skip Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But anyway, so here we are with your October 2025 market report. So you want to kick us off with 34769?
Yep, 34769. We had wow, my contacts are not working today. We had 18 homes that sold. Of that, 17, of course, were single stories because we're down in the state streets for the most part at 244.95, and we had one two-story at 169.02.
And so the way that it kind of averaged out, I do think we had, a couple of outliers here. But the way that it averaged out, you're looking at an average of 240.74 price per square foot. So it's showing a 10% gain month over month and 10% year over year. But it does look like we had like two that were in the 300s in terms of price per square foot. So I think those might have skewed the number a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So anyway, your median days to contract in 34769 was 39 days. So just over a month. So that's even starting to go a little longer. And days to close, 93.
Oh, wow.
3 months to get closed. So there's probably some scenarios where you're having a, going back on the market type thing.
Yeah.
In that zip code as well.
There's a lot of that. A lot of contracts are falling through. Like
Yeah.
some sellers are 3 contracts before they finally get it closed. It's
Right.
interesting market.
It is. And so you're looking at, with the total active homes on the market, you're looking at about a 3.6 month supply in 34769. So I think that's the first time that's kind of coming up too. So anyway, so moving on over to 34771.
So in 34771, we had 81 homes that sold. Of that, 41 of them were single stories at 232.88 price per square foot. And then we had 40 that were 2 stories at 194.47. And remember, the single stories always carry a higher price per square foot. And we had talked about that with Robert Bass, the appraiser,
Yep.
why that is. But
Yeah. And so do you want to remind people why that is?
well, first of all, it's easier to build a 2-story home because it takes a smaller part of the lot, but the plumbing, the plumbing's on top of each other. So you can have the plumbing downstairs above the bathroom upstairs, right?
Right.
Isn't that what he said? Versus a single story, everything is spread out as one single story. So it actually costs more to build a single story.
Right. In addition, that's why it's more expensive to replace a 1-story roof than it is a 2-story roof.
Exactly. The roof is bigger.
Right.
1 story.
Versus 2 stories. So there's higher costs involved in terms of building for a single story home versus a 2-story home, which is why you'll see the price per square foot a little bit different there. You're looking at an average price per square foot of about $214. And that's a decrease month over month of about 3.25%. Year over year, you're down about 8.89%. So seeing some softening on the 34771 side. Your median days to contract is still about 2 months, 66 days, and median days to close is 133. So a little over 4 months to get closed in that zip code. And right now you're looking at a 5-month supply.
And that's not even with all the new build in our data.
No, that's not all the new construction. So, and those median days to contract and days to close numbers actually exclude new construction. So that's strictly looking at your resale homes.
Wow. So let's go on to 34772. Back in the manor, we had 67 homes that sold. 49 of them were single stories at 221.22 price per square foot. The 2 stories, they were 18 at 181.83.
And so your average price per square foot is $210.63. Month over month, it's down about 1%. So not a huge difference there. Year over year, you're down about 8%. You're looking at 51 days to contract, so just about 2 months almost, and then 96 days to close, so 3 months to get closed. And your month supply is currently about a 4-month supply down there.
Oh, wow.
So 34772. And again, that doesn't include all the new construction that's out there. It's just, the month supply and the days to contract and close are all resale.
Wow.
So moving to 34773. What do you have for that one?
34773. We only had 29 properties that sold. Of that, 15 of them were single stories at 223.43 price per square foot. And then we have 14 2 stories at 172.62 price per square foot.
And so your average comes out to 198.90, which is up about 1% from last month. And then year over year, it's a decrease of about 6.5%. And then you're looking at 124 days to contract, which is like 4 months, right? And then 167 days to get closed. So you're pushing 6 months here now in 34773. So something to be mindful of if you have a resale home in this area. And current month supply, there's about a 4-month supply. And again, that doesn't include all the new construction.
Which is a lot.
Which there's quite a bit out here. So, definitely a slower market in 34773 in terms of just not slow, just you have to have patience, right? Like the days of...
No, let's call it what it is. It's slow.
Right. Well, okay, the days of being like... I'm going to sell my house and I'm just going to put it on the market and I'm going to get an offer and, the weekend and whatever. And to that point, I mean, tell us a little bit about what it's like to like list a house right now. Like, cause I feel like sellers in particular got spoiled over the 2020 to 2022, 2023 time period where you didn't have to do anything to your house. You just kind of had to list it because people just needed somewhere to go. But I feel like that's kind of shifted. So what is your like recommendation when you come into a listing appointment to somebody, and they're like, well, I'm not going to replace that, or I'm not going to paint that, or how do you help them prepare their home for sale?
Well, first I want to say it's a very difficult conversation, not a difficult one for me, a difficult one for sellers to hear, because in resales, especially, and we'll move on to the Harmony report, you're dealing with new construction. Besides the great rates that they're giving, I just closed one. It was under 4.99. I think they were at 4.5.
Which is lower than what I have.
Right. And they got all the closing costs paid, and they got a brand new house. So besides that's your competition, when I walk into your house and your house hasn't been updated and even just let's take an example. I have a house that went to list, and I was quite blunt and I said, you need to paint the whole inside of the house because it needs to be painted. And they wanted to say, oh, we'll just give her credit. No, that market's long gone.
Right.
You have to have your resale house pristine. Right. I'm talking about,
paint the baseboards,
everything.
Like
the paint is
texture.
important.
Yeah, textures of the walls, the smell.
The smell is huge.
Yeah, you got to have a nice you can't have any smells. The carpets don't like
either that or guess what? Put your house down at a
Right.
low price and
Right.
give it away, because that's what you're going to do. So put the muscle into it.
Right.
Take the advice of your realtor. I mean, I'm blunt. People are usually most people after I close, they even say it in our testimonial videos how demanding I was to get the house ready. But that's the market we're in. You have to.
Right.
I mean, I look at it as if it was my house and I was going to sell it.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have to put money into it to get it sold.
Right. So if you've been putting off those,
Repairs.
project repairs, whatever,
and thinking like next year or whatever, just
do
start
it.
Do
Just
it.
do it.
Enjoy the upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Don't wait to paint your cabinets until you go to list your house. Enjoy it at least. It's just it is a different. We're back to traditional times. You used to have to prepare your house for sale.
Right.
We had to do that. That was just a thing. You knew when I'm getting ready to list my house, I got to do this project, that project, this project. Well, we're back to that. And I don't think that sellers are necessarily completely caught up.
No,
with that.
we try to educate, but unfortunately, I think a lot of sellers have a mindset for the last market. Oh, well, we'll just give them credit. No, because guess what? They walk in your house, they don't even like it.
Right.
They don't even like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the whole point, is because they are looking at new construction.
Right.
And so if you go through the mindset that how can I compete with new construction, besides, guess what? You are going to be helping those buyers with closing costs or buying down the rate. You are.
Right.
If you want to get your house sold. That's just a given.
Right.
I think a lot of sellers get that part.
Right.
But you have to have that house looking so nice.
Yes.
So nice.
So good.
And painting the inside. Forget about declutter. I mean, that's just a normal thing that we do when we list a house, decluttering. But just so many things. I mean, you have that one red wall in the living room. Oh, well, what? No, guess what? You're painting it.
Right. 100%. Because
you're painting it.
It's a hard.
You have a rusted anything, by your fridge, guess what? Fix that now. And the light bulb. What is it with the light bulb?
I don't know.
Why, when we go to turn on the lights for pictures, the light bulbs don't work, or one works. If you go into a vanity and there's 6 light bulbs and 2 are on and the other ones don't work. Really? Replace the light bulbs.
Right. 100%.
It drives me crazy.
That part I did talk about putting that on our pre photo checklist.
Take out
right
the
up
setting
top.
the table.
Yes. Taking out setting the table, adding in, replacing all and making them the same color.
Oh, the same color. Yeah. Don't do soft and cool and and then the windows. Oh my goodness with the windows. Guess what? Wash your windows, because sometimes there's a beautiful view. And now you being the photographer. So we pull up the blinds when there's a beautiful view. If the window has green on it,
it's so bad.
Well,
it's
so when you can't make
there's not really much you could do. I can't create a view that you can't see.
Right.
Because it's dirty. So if you can get those windows
and that's
washed,
on the list.
It is on the list.
But
I think maybe we just shrink the list to the most important things that they have to do.
That's a great idea. Maybe there's too much on the list.
Right. Yeah. We don't need to go room by room. We need the same color light bulbs. We need all light bulbs working. We need windows washed.
Because now imagine you're the buyer. Okay. So we walk in. We walk into the house. First impressions, your front porch.
Right.
And you're looking at the step up to your front door and it's chipped.
Right. Right.
Or the front patio hasn't been pressure washed or painted since you bought the house.
Right.
Bad first impression.
Right.
To a buyer.
Including your curb appeal.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, your
bed, everything, your garden bed.
Yeah, the whole nine.
Then you walk in, then you have a smell.
Right.
Check number 2, guess what? Buyer's not liking it already.
Right.
Windows being dirty, guess what? The buyers think your house is filthy, even if it's not.
Right.
Just because your windows are dirty.
Right.
Your windowsills, your blinds are dirty, your windows are green.
Right.
I mean, we can go on and on and on. I mean, it's I don't know how to get the message across, and I literally go through the house with the seller and tell them what to do, and I take pictures of things and of everything and write notes on the pictures and tell them what to do. And the day of pictures, sometimes they just pick and choose what they want.
Right.
And I don't get it. Right. You want to sell your house, you want to get the most for your money, but in the market that you're going to be sitting there for months and competing with new build, you're coming out of the gate with a bad step forward. I know. In my opinion.
Right. Well, that's why it seems like, why it's curious why some houses sell quicker than others. A, they're priced right. Mm-hmm. They're priced realistically for the market. And B, they're more than likely, a lot of them are they're either priced, like you said, you lower the price because your house isn't in great of a condition, right? Or you're priced appropriately, but you have an immaculate house.
Immaculate house.
And then it's easier because I'll be honest, right? We have white tile in our bathroom and with white grout, and it grosses me out if it turns any shade of not white. Like, I am so crazy about that. And I notice that in other people's homes. Like when the shower grout is like dirty, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like it's not a matter of like, well, everybody showers. Your shower's going to get mold. Well, let them make it moldy. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to think about it.
Thing, the glass shower.
Right.
There is a way to get the hard water stains off people.
Right.
There is.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I can go on and on with the list. So
in other words, you either need to like be able to put the elbow grease in, put the time in, put the effort in, because again, we're back to that kind of market. We're back to a normal market where you have to prepare your house to sell it.
Right.
Or
sell it at a cheap price, because guess what? That's what you're selling it for. And guess what? If you have put the work into, maybe what do you think it costs?
Maybe $5,000 at the end of the day. If you had
or you do it yourself,
right? If you had to pay somebody to paint the whole inside and the whole outside and new landscaping, and you know what I mean. Like if you do that, yeah, you might be in it for $5,000, but you'll get full price for it versus having to discount your house $15,000 to $20,000. Like
absolutely, you'll be $20,000 lower just because you didn't do the work up front. Right. Absolutely, without a doubt. I can't tell you how much. No matter how much, I've been in real estate since 2005, how much you tell people this is what's happening, this is our market, they still don't listen.
I know.
And it's hard because we deal with resales. This is our market that we deal with. You know what I mean? I just put two buyers in a brand new house in Harmony Central.
Right.
Another one in Harmony West. I mean, they don't care. They don't. They want a brand new house. They want it looking good. Even if I say, "Oh, but Harmony Main neighborhood is so much better," you must see. Then they take a look at the house. They're like, "Yeah, let's."
Right, but to that point, that you have buyers that are coming in right now, and the unaffordability of mortgages at this point, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just it's really an uphill challenge. So they don't have the means to move into a house and fix stuff up and make it better unless you're getting a ridiculous deal on it.
Right.
Like it's just the ability for them to be able to do those upgrades that you're like, well, that's their problem. They just need to do it. I don't need to give them a brand new house. Like,
right.
The ability for buyers to do that. So they're not even considering you at that point, you know, because it's just, it's an uphill climb for them. So it's better to, I'm not telling you to go out and buy all new quartz countertops and appliances, but at least make it to where it's a nice clean slate for them to move into. And then of course they can work on bigger upgrades in the future, but the main stuff should be.
Yeah. And one of the agents in our office, the seller, again, a resale, and got second off. First offer fell through. Second offer came. They were in a difference of $5,000, and the mortgage that the seller was paying for a vacant house was over $3,000.
So 2 months of vacant house is more than the difference.
And he would not accept the offer because of the $5,000 difference, and that just baffles me. Don't you want this? Move on with your life for $5,000 when the next month you're paying that over $3,000 mortgage,
right?
And it's probably going to sit there another month. So now you're over $6,000 for a $5,000 difference. And 2 months ago could have been rid of it, besides your taxes and everything else,
right?
Like and I actually had one of my sellers in St. Cloud. The same thing happened too. Contract fell through. Same buyer came back and offered less, and I had to and we weren't getting any showings. It was a beautiful home. And I had to have that heart-to-heart talk and say, are you really going to let this offer go over $5,000 when they already moved on to another house?
Right.
Like sometimes it's not worth it.
Right.
And these buyers, they have the upper hand. They don't care.
Right.
They're like, well, I have no reason to move right now. I can wait till another one comes on the market.
Right.
I mean, that just like, to me, I'm like, no, I'm not digging my heels in for $5,000. I want to be done with this house. I'll take the $5,000 loss.
Right. Right.
It's frustrating. We do our best to give our knowledge, our expertise. That's what they hire us for.
100%.
But please, folks, listen to us. Listen to us, for goodness sakes.
Right. And you do have options, right? You don't do anything, but then you got to reduce the price so that it sells.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll sell. But you're going to be, like you said, $20,000 under for a $5,000 difference that you could have done right up front.
Right. So,
personally, it sucks. It does. But this is our market. You're competing with new build. And guess what?
Right.
This is what you're competing with.
Right. So let's move on to the Harmony folks.
Yes. So Harmony, there were so many properties in Harmony, Maine that sold. Hold on to your hat. This is big news. There were 2. Okay. There was a custom home at 3305 on Capriya that sold for $500,000. And that one came in at $153.94 price per square foot. Now that's a custom. We haven't even seen 150s for a D.R. Horton house.
I know.
But granted, the seller had it down to $500,000, and that's what they purchased it for. So our company actually got the buyer. That we actually had a couple contracts on it, but we were the ones that sold it. And then on Sagebrush, there was one that sold, and that came in at $189.60 price per square foot, and that's it, folks, for Harmony, Maine. That's it.
Two resales.
That's all you got.
And so if you look at currently what's listed, there are 40 properties for sale in Harmony, Maine, including townhouses and condos.
Okay.
And then 7 additional under contract. So that's 47 houses on the market currently in Harmony, but only 2 sold. So hopefully next month, all 7 of those close.
Yeah.
and we have a little bit better absorption rate. But right now, just even with the 2 sales compared to the 40 listings, you're looking at, a 20-month supply, which is crazy. So
folks, that is why what we just talked about previously before we started talking about the Harmony, Maine report, and that's why in resale you do what we talk about. You get your house looking really good, because otherwise you're competing with the new builds. And let's go on to that.
Yes.
So in Harmony West, there were 4 townhouses that sold, and they came in at $219.24 price per square foot. And then there were 11 sales, and of that 7 were single stories, and they came in at $228.90 price per square foot. The 2 stories, we only have 5. This is Harmony West at $173.76 price per square foot. Harmony Central, now we sold a couple over there. Harmony Central, guess what? There were 10 that sold. Of the 10, 5 were single stories at $215.61 price per square foot, and 5 2 stories at $186.90. Again, that's not all the sales that the builders are reporting, because if you go on county record, we just pull from MLS. You go on county records, it's different.
Right, absolutely. Because, a lot of time, if there's not a realtor involved and they're not entering the sale, that's kind of when you get different numbers there. But so that takes care of your October 2025 market report for the St. Cloud area. It's an interesting time. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out.
Rates, the Feds lowered their rate. Know that their rate is not mortgage rate.
Right.
But
right.
A quarter point, but we'll see what happens in 2026. I think it's going to be a better year. I hope it's going to be a better year.
Right. Right. Yeah. We need some movement going on, I think. But so that takes care of your market report. Don't forget, you can check us out on all your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find us online.
Yep. You'll find us on YouTube to watch us in person if you don't want to just listen. And you can get us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of the above. And you can also find our reports on our website. They're always housed there. We keep 12 months supply of market reports, and all you need to do is go under CorcoranConnect.com and hit the community tab and find St. Cloud, and all your reports are there, including yearly reports. And then also for Harmony, you just click on community and Harmony and you get all the reports.
Yep. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can send us an email at discoverstcloud@gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 1844
I was gonna, well, a number. Okay, 1-844 St. Cloud. That's STCLOUD, or 407-953-9118.
And thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode.